Mending broken hearts by tying up loose ends. That's the mission behind a special group of crafters that started here in the U.S. and has now gone international. Reporter Heather Graff shows us how they stand ready to help when a grieving family is left with a loved one's unfinished handiwork.
Whether she's making her own yarn using a spinning wheel or picking out a colorful spool at the store.
That is a fraction of my stash.
Sam Crane loves everything about knitting.
And I found that it was so calming.
And she's made countless one-of-a-kind creations for family and friends. Yet one of her favorite pieces as of late is a soft green scarf that she knit for a stranger.
And I wrote back almost immediately going, yes, I would love to do it.
It all started when she signed up with a nonprofit called Loose Ends. The group is made up of volunteer crafters who step in to complete projects left behind when a loved one passes away or can no longer do handwork due to compromised health.
Jen and I had both finished projects from friends who had lost their moms.
Jen Simonik and Macy Kaplan are avid knitters and friends who co-founded the organization in 2022 because they saw a need.
For a lot of people, when that crafter dies, that's the only crafter they knew.
Today, they say this network of knitters, crocheters, and quilters has gone worldwide. More than 25,000 of them across 64 countries and in every state in the U.S., plus Puerto Rico and Washington, D.C.
And this is my mom.
Which is where Linda Chandler had been holding on to this project that was started but never finished by her late mother, Dorothy.
She always had something that she was working on.
And you lost your mother about 6 years ago?
About 6 years ago, yes.
Her grief never goes away. But when Linda recently learned about Loose Ends, she says the timing felt right to apply.
It turned out they matched with someone who lives within a couple miles of my home.
And that someone was Sam Crane.
You know, I wanted it to be beautiful and to fully honor her mother's work.
Sam even made a special stitch to mark the spot where Dorothy's hands left off.
The warmth around my neck is sort of brings back the hugs with my mom.
Knowing that it had an intended recipient definitely was very meaningful to me.
A thread that will forever bind them together.
Amazing that she cared that much.
And a family's cherished project now complete.
Just for her to come up with that idea, I'm thinking, wow, how did you think of that?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. I love that she put the little stitch in to show where your hands stopped and mine took over.
So
that was
sweet.
so cool.
And then the relationship or the rapport between the gal that was doing the knitting and the green skirt and the older woman, that was so nice.
Yeah.
And she lives just a couple miles from me.
And a lot of younger people are taking up the crafts again. A lot of younger people are starting to crochet and knit and create. So I see that. That's so cool.
Which is really cool because that's a way of kind of just dealing with stress, getting in your own world and just kind of relaxing in that.
There's a senior center where I live, and there are ladies that teach other women how to knit and crochet and make
the quilts.
The quilts.
The Afghans.
And it's just so great, you know, to pass all that on and to encourage other people.
And we all would rather have handmade stuff anyway.
I have a lot. My aunt, she taught me when I was younger. I used to crochet, and now I try to go back and try to remember. And
You can't remember it. Uh-oh.
My mother-in-law gathered up fabric from quilts that weren't finished from older generations and had them all done and delivered. What a great gift. All right, we're all getting older, and it's about time we talked about it. Until next time on Aging Untold.